Hold on, intro. It's intro time. Shush. Everyone shut up. What's going on, main characters? It's your boy Talks Too Much with Third Party Studios. Welcome back to the channel. With me, as always, is my co-host, the Cody.
Hey.
And we got a guest in the channel. We got Two Dogs Pooping, commonly known as, what would that be, number-wise?
2DP.
2DP 37, also known as Ty. So good
What's
to be.
up?
Thanks for being here, buddy. Really appreciate you jumping into the channel.
Yeah, this will be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Cody, what have you been up to this week? Nerd shit.
Stuff and things.
What's the nerdiness of the stuff and the things? Like dig a layer deeper, like an onion
Like an onion?
or a parfait. Everybody likes parfaits.
I don't even know what a parfait is.
You don't know what a parfait is?
No.
I feel like you're doing this on purpose. Do you?
Truly.
You
I'm
know,
white.
Ty, you know what a parfait is.
I do not. I was hoping it wouldn't come to me.
Oh, God damn it. Really? Neither of you guys know what a parfait is? Everybody loves parfaits.
Oh, yeah. No. Who the fuck likes parfaits? It's
Don't.
just,
Did you just Google search a parfait in
Yeah,
real time just to see?
it's fruits, some granola, then yogurt, fruits, granola, yogurt,
Yeah,
fruits, granola, yogurt.
It's a layered dessert,
Yeah.
effectively, and it could be all sorts of different things.
I'm good.
Everybody likes parfaits.
I'll stick with just an onion instead.
Yeah, so it's... so what have you been up to this week? What have you been playing?
I've been getting back into Borderlands.
Yeah?
I don't know why, but I just decided, I was like, yeah, I got all of them. Let's just go through them. I've been swapping back and forth between like 3 prequel,
For quequels?
pre-sequel,
For quequels?
and the third one. I've just been bouncing back and forth through those.
So, I mean, are you starting... do you have a goal? Like, are you going all the way back through the playthrough? Or is it just like until you're just bored on it?
Well, at 2 and 3, or 2 and pre-sequel, I was just kind of... I beat those, so I was just playing around with them.
Okay.
3 I never beat. I've got like 40 hours into it, and I just keep on fucking restarting because I get sick of it, shelve it for a year, and then go back to it.
Sort of like Lord of the Rings, but you don't get sick of Lord of the Rings.
No.
So it's not even close to like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. 3, dude, the writing fucking sucks in that. Holy shit.
Borderlands.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, Lord of the Rings, we go and fight.
Rings of Power one.
We have fighting words. Rings
But
of Power.
the enemies in 3 are streamers, basically. They're
Right.
Twitch streamers. And
Okay.
it's so annoying.
What tight? Oh, so they actually had in so Yasuke Simulator, the video game, they had streamers be one of the minions, like the bad guys in this game. So Ty, when Assassin's Creed Shadows was coming out, there was a bunch of like backlash around the game.
Okay.
And this small independent studio called History Accurate Games, they created an indie project, and they just basically took the main character and just made a really small, like really simple, like linear path game project that they were doing. It was absolutely ridiculous. And on like the 3rd mission or something, streamers are the enemy of Yasuke, the main character.
Really?
That's it. Like you get swarmed by a bunch of streamers with cameras trying to they're like swarm like paparazzi, and that's the boss or the enemies you're fighting on that level. That's what that's what.
It's a parody game.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's. When we talk about Ubisoft later, I'll bring it up again, but it's
Okay.
absolutely hilarious.
I would play that, yeah.
It's a cheap game too. So the idea was they were going to release it on the same day that Assassin's Creed Shadows came out, and so they did. And obviously, Assassin's Creed Shadows, huge game, huge name, and a lot of publicity around it. And so a lot of big streamers played that, realized it ain't shit, and then they jumped over and started playing Yasuke Simulator. They're like, this is actually fun. Like, I'm actually having a good time with this. You mean to tell me one of the bosses is a giant crab monster? I'm fucking in.
You run around as a samurai with a machine gun or
Sniper
drive
rifle.
over with a car.
Yeah, I love that.
Mow 'em down.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I love that game. I want to play more of it. So what's the last game? So you played some poker the other night. How'd you do? You didn't get to tell me how much you won.
I won about 80.
Is
It
that
was good? It was fun.
Dude, that's awesome.
Pesos.
Pesos, yeah.
80 pesos from the Mexican. No, what else have you been gaming or seen any new movies or shows lately?
I watched that new movie Craven.
Craven. Ooh, tell me about that one, because I think I know that's the Marvel one, right? That's the Marvel vampire.
It's in the Spider-Man universe that Sony put out.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, tell me.
Okay.
Well, tell.
Yeah, it's in the same like universe, quote unquote, as like the Venom movies or Morbius or whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, and to be fair, most people didn't know that Blade was
Or Madam Web.
an expansion into like the greater Marvel universe when that came out, or at least I didn't. I didn't
either.
It wasn't made canon until Deadpool and Wolverine.
right. So, what did you think of the movie? You're fine. You're good. Like we'll shit on it either way.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like your opinion, like we
Okay.
we just want to know what you're taking.
Okay, you're already retarded in my eyes.
Yeah. I fucking hated it. It was.
Oh, okay, cool.
I did.
Are you
enjoy
lying?
1 second of that.
Oh,
movie.
good.
I finished it because it's Marvel. I love Marvel, but
Yeah.
I wasn't entertained at all.
It's not even bad where it's kind of entertaining at all.
It was the most boring action movie I've ever seen, and there was a lot of action.
Oh shit.
Dude, what was
Can't explain it. Like there was,
Well,
just
that was-
no chemistry with that
No,
movie.
we understand perfectly because that's similar to how we would describe probably like Marvel's or Captain America, the new one, Brave New World that just came out.
I did see that one.
A lot of action on the screen and then not a lot happening. I had a lot to say about the aerial combat. I thought the aerial combat was kind of unique to this movie for Brave New World, but
Yeah.
then you have the Marvels where you have most of the movie is girl punches and then they needed superpowers for that to hurt anybody.
They had a dancing number in it.
They had a dancing number in it, the planet of the
Planet of Aladdin or something.
the Aladdin planet.
Did you guys see Craven?
No.
No, I've been skipping the Sony Marvel movies.
Good.
They're all shit.
Don't.
I watched Venom and Venom 2, and I was like, I don't know how these movies make money.
I actually enjoyed a lot about Last Dance for Venom. So like
Didn't watch that one.
and I mean I'm not singing its praises that it's like it's a required reading or it's a must see, but I thought I really liked that one more than Carnage or Let There Be Carnage and the first one. I thought there was I like the way they ended that series, and I like the way they played off Tom Hardy's character and how they did everything in that movie. I'd say the biggest issues I had was when you started to see more of the Venom symbiotes in other like performance, like in other parts of the film. That started to get overplayed. I was like, you're just making a like Power Rangers, but they're all Venom, where they're all different colors and a little silly. And I'm just not here for it. So I mean, I'm glad to hear that you've stayed on Marvel. I mean,
I enjoy Marvel.
are you excited for the new, like, are you excited for the future of Marvel? Like, what is your take on, are you going to keep watching it no matter what? Or is there a point where you're just like, I'm out?
I mean, I'll probably keep watching it. I'm not too excited for the future. I mean, I just need to keep milking that titty dry. Get whatever you can out of it.
Just get, I love that expression. I haven't heard that one before. I've heard squeeze blood from a stone, but I've not heard milk that titty.
It's an even more obscure one. Squeeze blood.
Can't
from a
squeeze
stone.
blood. You can't squeeze blood from a stone. You guys have not heard that
I
expression?
have not heard that.
I feel like I hear that in mafia movies all the time when they're like, boss, I'll pay you next week, I promise. They're like, can't squeeze blood from a stone because the guy has no money.
I heard you can't polish a turd.
You could
I've heard that.
you could polish a turd, it just has to be a little drier.
Yeah.
Yeah. The crunchy.
I'm sure there's a video on YouTube of it.
All right. We do have a lot of stories to get into today, guys. So let's just jump right into our first one. And we are going to lead off with something strong. Something strong.
Right back into Marvel.
Ooh, love it.
Let's jump into it. So our first story of the day is not on screen.
Come on, producer.
Yeah, that's hold on. We gotta fix the thing and boom. Let there be visuals. Guys, okay. I apologize. That's on me. I own it. Editing mistake.
I expect better.
So we had the news comes from so on YouTube and on other platforms. Marvel Studios was live streaming a 5-hour live stream of them panning from chair to chair.
No, it wasn't even that.
Yeah, it was.
They set out one chair, wait 10 to 15 minutes, and then a guy walks in with another chair.
Was it Robert Downey Jr. just placing all the chairs?
I don't think so.
So we have the casting call. So it's basically the casting. We have about 20 something or so cast members who were announced in this teaser.
There's a fuckload
promotional
of people.
material.
That's all I know.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, and I didn't recognize a lot of the names. I mean, I recognized Paul Rudd, Pedro Pascal, obviously Chris Evans. I mean, a few other names.
Chris Evans isn't in it.
Well, first off, I know that you didn't watch. First off, I know you didn't watch the whole thing,
Yeah,
and
but I know everything.
Yeah, okay. Well, who's in it? top to bottom.
there's-
No, left to right.
Left to right. They started off with Chris Hemsworth, and then I got lost in the weeds after that.
Okay, cool. So you don't know. But anyway, they do have a lot of people in this film that are actually from the recent Marvel films, but they left out a lot of the female characters, and that's been pissing people off. Like a lot of the characters that were from the Marvels, from the like the Young Avengers, they left out
They're dumb fucking Disney Plus shows that they put out.
Exactly. So that actually is going to be something that's like, first off, there's people who are already lost on the MCU who are just not into it at all, and they're only watching it for just try to stay up with the required reading. There's people like you, like me and Cody, who do like reviews on this and are just trying to give as fair of a perspective on it as we possibly can. But I mean, the truth is that I mostly consider Marvel to be a dead brand, and I'm hoping that what's Fantastic Four kind of brings us back to something resembling classic, good, fun Marvel.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect from this. I mean, when did you find out that Robert Downey Jr. was going to be back in Marvel?
I feel like it was almost right away after Endgame.
Right away. Okay, so
I
like
think so. Like they announced it pretty quick. I feel like
it was
The announcement was in 2024.
so last year. So it was recent.
fact checked it.
You're fine. No, that's what he does.
I was literally just scrolling through it, and it's like, oh, Robert Downey Jr. cast in 2024. It's like, all right.
But well, and so like Robert Downey Jr. was on Joe Rogan when they were having their back and forth. So Robert Downey Jr. was on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's like, so you got to put the jersey back on. They're gonna do some multiverse thing, and they're gonna just have you come in, and all of a sudden the studio goes crazy, or the crowd goes crazy in the theaters because Iron Man walks through a portal, and Robert Downey Jr. just says, "Wouldn't you feel a little bit betrayed or like
Right.
like let down?" And so I think that his casting as Doctor Doom, in a separate universe where we're just talking Doctor Doom and we don't have an Iron Man to even think about, Robert Downey Jr. would do an awesome job as Doctor Doom, I think.
I think so too. I love that guy.
Yeah, so in a separate universe where you don't have to worry about the fact that he's playing Tony Stark and he's already died in the same universe, now you have him coming in as Doctor Doom. It feels a little weird. But
I don't like it.
yeah.
I just don't like it.
I mean, I wonder if like Marvel supposed to be held to this higher standard of films? Like, are we?
I mean, no. Like Martin Scorsese said, it's like a roller, or it reminds him of theme parks, or whatever. They're not peak cinema, but they're fun, and they can still tell good like character stories and whatnot. But I wouldn't say like a high standard. I hold it to the standard of like maybe Infinity War.
Well, and Infinity War, I think is fair. I think that's fair. And you would even
That would be like peak
well, yeah.
Marvel.
So I mean, it has to live up to at least itself.
Yes.
I mean, the best stories that it's ever told, it would have to at least try to tell something similar to those or get close. My favorite of all of the Marvel films has got to be No Way Home. I think that closed a lot of story for 3 awesome trilogy sets. Well, 2 trilogies. One was supposed to be a trilogy, turned into 2 movies with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. That's what I'm thinking about there. But
gotcha.
No Way Home, I think is probably the best we got from Marvel.
Yeah. I don't know. Doomsday, I think, is just going to be a cameo fest because it's already bloated with the announcement was 27 characters.
Okay.
And there's more to come.
Well,
There's still more to come. They
Well-
announced the Fantastic Four is going to be in it. They're bringing in Fox X-Men like Magneto and Professor X. Beast is going to be in it.
I love the idea of including like Patrick Stewart. I mean, this is probably going to be his last performance
They should have
ever.
rolled out a wheelchair.
That's his real wheelchair. That's not even like a prop. That's like his like from the nursing home wheelchair. This guy is barely hanging on.
Channing Tatum as Gambit from Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be in it.
I want that so bad. I
I bet
really
Channing Tatum's really happy.
yeah. Channing Tatum's got to be like absolutely just blowing his load on that one. He's been wanting to play Gambit for a long time, and I've wanted a Gambit. I don't think he looks good as Gambit, but I think he plays the character just fine. I enjoyed Deadpool Wolverine. I thought
We'll see. We've only seen a little bit of him.
yeah. So I mean, 5 hours though is a long promotional.
And you
Yeah,
know what
why
these-
would they do that?
You know what these assholes did right afterwards?
What?
They put a 1 and 30-second video on Twitter just scrolling through all the-
Exactly.
Some dedicated fans were
Yeah,
pissed.
you had like 100,000 people on YouTube just watching for like 5 fucking hours.
you had and you have Marvel is probably monetized on YouTube, so they probably made back what they would lose from the film. I mean, all they had to do was put out some fucking chairs for 5 hours.
Then RDJ comes out at the end and says something that probably cost him like $2 million.
Yeah, he just goes shush. I'm pretty sure that's all he does.
Yeah, I just watched Nerdrotic's Nooner for like 4 hours, or listened to it while I was working while this was happening.
Do you think we'll get Fat Thor back ever again?
No. Which surprised me that we're getting Chris Hemsworth back as Thor, because he fucking hated Thor Love and Thunder. He's like, I'm only going to come back if we respect the character, which apparently they got him to agree to a script, so...
Well, I don't think he's been doing anything. Like, lately, I haven't seen him in much. I think Thor Love and Thunder is the last movie I remember of him being in.
Oh, that was only like 2 years ago, wasn't it?
I think 2023. I think that timeline's right.
Didn't he make that that movie where he gets that kid out?
The Extraction movies?
Extraction, yeah. Isn't that kind of new?
Yeah, it's fairly new. He might be working on a third one,
Ooh.
which would be cool, because those movies are good.
Yeah.
Netflix has, I mean, okay, so side question, not directly related to this. What is I really love this promotional material because I can have it running in the background and there's no way to get copyright struck because it looks like a picture. It just looks, so we just let that run and we're good.
Sit on Chris Hemsworth for 15 minutes.
So, so what is which platform do you think has the best, like, exclusives? Like, and I'm talking movies. Do you think it's Netflix has the best movie exclusives? Do you think it's Amazon Prime has a movie? Like,
well, it's actually not Max because they license their shit out to Netflix. So technically, it'd be like, I don't know, mate. I guess probably Amazon because they're not giving their shit out to other streaming platforms.
Fair enough.
But I like what HBO Max puts out.
I think
a lot more than anything else.
When it comes to shows, I think Hulu. And I don't know that I would say that about their their current catalog, but I'll say that they had what was one of the show? Chance, and I believe The Night Manager was also theirs as well.
Yes.
So both of those were awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing exclusively now because it's just part of Disney Plus.
Exactly. And so like
I don't think there's anything new and exciting is going on there.
Do you think
the Hulu sphere?
What do you think the role of like it's Ian McKellen? Who's
Gandalf? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, does he play Magneto as well? Yeah. So I'm actually really surprised his career path after The Hobbit. Do you know who? First off, you know who that is? The guy who plays Gandalf.
Yep.
Okay.
I picture him.
So in The Hobbit, the guy actually cried on set because they went from doing practical visuals and like on scene like production to being in front of a green screen and recording standalone. Like,
yeah, he's not talking or acting with anyone in the scene, and it's just surrounded by green. He's like, "This is not what I signed up for acting for."
Yeah, and
like, I don't think I can do this, Peter.
The guy, yeah. So the guy actually has a breakdown, and I feel for him.
And now he's gonna do the same thing in this movie because it's all gonna be green screen, or maybe blue. It might be a blue screen.
Well, and if you got to play the same role, I mean, if you're gonna play a recurring role,
he's probably gonna have a bunch of scenes. I won't even say a bunch of scenes because this movie's already bloated. But he'll have scenes with Patrick Stewart, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And that'll be fun for him because they're like best friends since X-Men 1.
Yeah. I mean, God, that's such a fun trilogy to rewatch. The original X-Men trilogy from, was it Fox who did those or was that New Line Cinema?
It was 20th Century.
Okay, gotcha. It was, those are actually fun to go back and rewatch because you got all, like, Hugh Jackman's like
getting cucked throughout the entire trilogy.
True, but I mean, like, yeah.
Cyclops.
He loves Cyclops. He likes that one-eyed monster. He loves that.
He's just sitting in the cuck chair the entire time.
Well, I think that when it comes to that film, I love that you have all of that cast being like young 30s, like old 20s.
Yeah, I'd say young 30s.
Most of them are like Hugh Jackman being like in his 20s or 30s. I don't remember exactly how old he was in those films, but
he's like damn near 60 or something now, ain't he?
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah, he looks great. And then he goes on and does Deadpool and Wolverine. He's like freaking Mr. America chiseled.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was CGI'd, but
dude, don't like.
Deadpool made a joke about it earlier in the movie. He's like, "Oh, that divorce rate's getting to you or something."
Yeah. Well, so is there anyone in this film who you think can carry now? Is there anyone who in the Marvel franchise who's going to be the guy to hold the weight of the entire story?
I don't think there's going to be a singular guy. I hope they kind of fall back onto the Fantastic Four, though.
Be paid. So that
Just
would
go forward with them,
Pedro Pascal would have to hold the franchise then.
which sucks.
So
Not a fan.
Tyson, you are a fan of Pedro Pascal. Like that's you.
Yeah, I like the guy.
I mean, he's good in everything he is in, but he's in everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's everywhere.
That's actually this.
Overexposure is my problem with Pedro, I'd say.
I have that same issue with like The Rock and Kevin Hart. Like,
No, they suck.
yeah, but I mean, well, The Rock had movies like in the early 2000s that were good movies.
The best one is obviously The Rundown.
The Rundown, but he also had Walk the Line. Wait, was it what?
Walking Tall.
Walking Tall. Thank you. Walk hard. Sorry, he had Walking Tall. I mean, he had a couple. I'm not saying that his catalog from the early.
Scorpion King.
I enjoyed
That's
this.
dumb fun.
I enjoyed the Scorpion King as dumb
I
fun.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hit pause on that movie quite a few
There's
times.
the CGI mummy.
The CGI, in the Mummy.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Made a quick appearance.
Dwayne, I didn't realize
That's what the Scorpion King branched off from.
as a
'Cause he
spinoff from
played
the Mummies.
Scorpion King in that Mummy movie. It was
Yeah.
just,
And then the Scorpion King was made, or
yeah, afterwards.
I love that little trivia. I do
the
love.
worst CGI in movie history.
I love that trivia. You had it right. So we had so when it comes to like The Rock, he was in everything, and so I was tired of it. He was in. They had no business casting him as Black Adam in DC, and that movie was
He was
horrible.
trying to take over DC.
He was. So-
And what's dumb in his contracts too is like he can never lose and blah blah blah, which automatically makes your character gonna be just boring.
Boring. Yeah.
It's like I always gotta win.
Yeah. Do you
And
think
then
he
he's
had
like-
that same contract in the WWE or WWE or F, www.com?
That dude's such a narcissist. I don't know how I came upon this, but it must have been a short or something. Where whenever he's kicking the shit out of someone, he's looking at himself in the jumbotron, just beating the shit out of someone.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, you gotta look at me. He's like, I'm just looking at myself being awesome.
Yeah. I did that too. I did that.
So
So
I'm not a fan.
Kevin Hart, I think
He was overexposed too.
Kevin Hart was overexposed. The fact that he was in like some romantic comedy, like he was in like 2 romantic comedies like a month from each other in theaters, it felt like. And then he was in that kind of more serious movie with Bryan Cranston where it was still a comedy,
Oh,
but
he's in the wheelchair.
yeah, Bryan Cranston's in the wheelchair, and he's like his caretaker or whatever. He was in with Will Ferrell in
Get
that
hard.
in that movie where Will Ferrell's going to go to prison, and then he's doing like back-to-back movies with The Rock with Jumanji 1, 2,
yeah.
and then you have the CIA movie, the Counterintelligence or Central Intelligence, I think is what it was. Yeah, they're probably not burning out from an acting perspective because there's not a lot being asked of them. It's like, hey, make kids laugh. Like, oh, easy.
Just be your dumb self for 2 hours.
Well, and I won't pretend like Kevin Hart doesn't have like talent as a comedian. He is funny.
Yeah,
to
I was a
watch.
fan of his stand-up. I've just never been a fan of like any movie he's been in.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, don't forget Borderlands. He was in Borderlands movie.
did you watch that?
I'm trying to remember.
So
It
Borderlands.
came out last year.
Borderlands flopped really hard.
I knew it was gonna be shit from the day it was announced.
We did our conversation on it, and I had a family member reach out and be like, "Yeah, that was shit," because they went and saw it in theaters, and I was like, "What the? I didn't even realize you watched the show." It's like yeah. So they did Borderlands as a movie, as a live action film, and Kevin Hart played one of the sergeant in it or something.
Oh,
Roland.
So anyway, I think there is a way to overdo characters, and so back to the original point of Pedro Pascal. I think he's in a lot of things. I do think this will pull so much of his attention away. If he's doing Fantastic Four, then he's doing Doomsday, then he's doing another Fantastic Four.
Well, he's out on The Last of Us if they go by the game.
Right.
He dies.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for Last of Us Season 2.
Yeah. Do you do that before the spoiler?
Yeah.
It's like,
how
Usually.
could you do that to me?
Because the game's been out for 5 years.
that's fair. We do that all the time, actually. We do.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
What is interesting is that we have Tom Holland is not making an appearance in Doomsday, or at least he's
that
not
we know of yet.
that we know of yet, but he would have been one to announce right away, and we do know that there's a Spider-Man 4 on inbound. So we know that there's another Spider-Man. He's not going anywhere in the Spider-Man universe, but the rumors around the Spider-Man 4 are that he's going to be in the Sony multiverse playing around with some of the other Sony villains, like that are going to be reappearing. So that's the rumor that we've been seeing about about Spider-Man 4 is that he's not going to be playing directly in this Marvel universe.
What?
Yeah. So
Where'd you hear that?
So like I saw like 3 shorts that were like breaking that down, and they
Are
were
they just wishing?
well, I mean they were breaking it down.
Because the next movie, Mark Ruffalo and also John Bernthal are in it.
And like, what does that have to do with
That's
Tom
Marvel,
Holland?
That's Marvel, not Sony.
And what does that again? What does that have to
He's
do
not
with
gonna
Tom
be
Holland?
playing-
We're talking about Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Holland Spider-Man is in the Marvel universe. He's not in the Sony universe.
Yes, but they are bouncing back and forth. Like the Venom has made an appearance in No Way Home,
And
so
that
it's like
did
it's
nothing.
moot. It's moot that like they don't. The fact that they are like they're not the same universe is moot because I'm telling you that what I've seen is that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to be visiting or interacting with the Sony universe, which has happened before. There's precedent. There's no reason to say that because Sony exists and Disney exists, they can't like
I'm just
collaborate.
saying that's not going to happen.
I mean, we'll see. You want to bet?
Yeah, actually, I'll put $100 on it.
All right, fair enough. $100.
All right.
What's the end of the bet? Like, what's the verbiage of the bet? That Tom Holland Spider-Man will not collaborate in a Sony project, or that's
Yes.
okay.
That he's not dealing with like the Sony shit that's been going on at all.
Okay, so like we already know Venom appears in Marvel. We already know that that's the thing. So I mean, like,
Yeah,
how do we caveat out for that?
And credit scene that equated to nothing. He was just there and he saw Spider-Man on the news or something.
Yeah, but then
And then in the next movie, he's just not there again.
well, you know that he left a portion of the symbiote in the Marvel universe. Did you watch the whole like end credit scene?
Yeah, but the writers and producers don't watch their own shit. They don't even know about that.
Well, an end credit scene only the end credit scene is only irrelevant until it is relevant. Like that's like
Well, I think it goes right into the newest Venom movie. Like
Yeah.
the very start, he's going back and forth from that same place or
Right.
disappearing from the Endgame thing.
he keeps jumping around. That was
Yeah.
weird. That was weird to start off.
So I think
way.
that's where, like, and almost immediately from leaving the Venom thing,
Mhm.
and then it goes right into that movie.
Okay, so just to clarify on the bet, and so like because that makes a lot of sense. I mean, that actually is they were jumping around a lot because of all of that. To clarify the bet, so even if Tom Holland's character interacts with Venom, I win.
In the next movie, we're not talking about anything
Oh.
pre-existing.
Well, yeah, in the next movie. Yeah, okay, fine. In the next movie, which we have a release
Wait,
date
wait.
for.
If he reacts or if he interacts with Tom Hardy's Venom,
What? No,
they can't just be Venom because then
Venom's still Sony IP.
it's a Marvel IP that Sony has current property over, but they can bounce back and forth.
That
They're
was my
borrowing-
point. That was what I said. That was my same
You're all-
point.
Okay, I was thinking you're talking about the pre-existing Sony universe that they got going.
No,
Okay, then yeah, I totally agree with
like
you.
I'm not thinking
100%.
he's gonna go interact with who is it? Is it Franco and who plays like Harry Osborn? I'm not thinking he's gonna go interact with like the OG Tom.
Yeah, I thought
like-
you said that he was going to be like interacting with those Sony movies that they've been putting out since like 2017.
No. I think that Tom Holland's character will be visiting a Sony universe and interacting with property that Sony owns and has the rights to. That's what was broken down. I thought I did a good job of explaining that. You got lost.
I got lost in the weeds because you're calling it Sony, so it's like, I don't know.
I mean, I could call it
Spider-Man-
half Sony, half Disney, but that would be confusing too.
Spider-Man's technically Sony too. Like all the Tom Holland movies are Sony movies.
Then I would have been guaranteed to have been right. I couldn't have been wrong. It would have been impossible for me to be wrong. It would have been
Sure, looking like Jimmy won the bet.
yes, I fucking got you.
Drop $100. It's like, all right, nothing even happened. Here's $100.
I just win. Doesn't even have to be a
There was
Spider-Man
a
4.
misunderstanding. It's
Doesn't
all
even-
clear.
All right. I mean, so, okay. But we do, as of right now, Tom Holland's absent from the announcement. There's a lot of other characters yet to be announced. So we have just a lot to look forward to as far as more announcements come. Is there anyone who we did not want to see in this upcoming film that is in there?
You got Black Panther's little sister being Black Panther. You
Yeah.
got Florence Pugh as the new Black Widow. She's also going to be in the Thunderbolts.
Oh, I don't want.
You have the Thunderbolts in this movie, is basically because there's a lot of them.
Well,
I think all of them are.
The trailer for Thunderbolts actually looked like it could be good. Have you seen that yet?
It looks
I have
better than
not.
Captain
Okay.
America.
So we went and saw Captain. So when we went and saw Captain America, we got introduced to the new Black Widow, and we saw the trailer in the previews that showed the Thunderbolts, which is another Marvel project that's upcoming. It should be soon, right? Is it April or is it this summer.
Thunderbolts?
I thought it was April.
Yeah, it's next month. I think fairly recent.
Or okay,
Or
soon.
Soon.
Yeah, so the trailer looked good for that one. So we actually think that it has potential.
Okay.
So we'll have to see if that one holds up. But I don't want them in. I mean, this new Black Widow character, she's probably the only one I wouldn't want to see in there. I mean, Brie Larson's not coming back as Captain Marvel, right? She already is out.
I think she's out.
Unless they. So yeah, Captain Marvel, her contract expired. It doesn't look like she got re-signed yet.
May 2nd is when it comes out.
May 2nd. So yeah, we'll have to go. Maybe we'll do a review on that one.
Yeah, we'll probably end up seeing that one.
Yeah.
Well, we also got, I don't know if you guys remember him, Namor.
Yeah, I saw
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Mm-hmm.
The dude with wings on his feet.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that guy.
So I didn't see that Black Panther film. I was told that it wasn't made for white people, so I decided to just.
You were supposed to buy a ticket and give it to a black person.
Well,
because they can't afford to go.
I might be white, but I'm still poor. So I bought a ticket in spirit, and then gave it to a black guy in spirit. That was my contribution to the cause.
Oh, the new Falcon's gonna be in it too.
Yeah. I mean, we need characters, and so
you don't need 40 fucking characters.
in an Avengers film you do, because the Avengers is like canonically like you'd swarm like even in the comic book, in the comic books the characters swarm the panels. Like I don't know if I've seen an Avengers comic that has like any panel that doesn't have 6 characters in a panel.
Yeah, this is a movie.
Yeah, but
and you're gonna be jumping through like 20 different plot lines with all these characters.
well, we have precedent for it. I mean,
that was 10 years of buildup with Infinity War, so it worked out.
Now we got 15 years of build up.
No, this is just a cold open because none of the original Avengers, except for Chris and
RDJ,
RDJ's not even playing Iron Man.
Anthony Mackie.
We got Simu Liu in it too.
So a lot of good people
from Shang-Chi.
I heard good things about Shang-Chi.
I actually liked that movie. Yeah,
I heard horrible things about Shang-Chi.
Well, what did you like about it though? Like, what was it? I mean, was it the fight scenes? Because a little bit of what I saw with the fight scenes looked kind of cool. I didn't check it out myself.
I thought that girl was funny. I can't remember her name.
Aquafina?
Is that her name?
Yeah, that's her fucking name.
Oh, that's right.
The water?
Yeah, the water.
Her name is the water. Right.
Wow. Yeah. So like her name, I think she's pretty funny.
What about is there anything in the story that stands out? I mean, what's the connection to the Marvel like universe for Shang-Chi as far as like
well, that's just it. I haven't found the connection yet, but like I just kind of enjoyed the movie. It was simple. It was one guy, and I liked his story.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I don't know, his dad came around. Can I spoil that? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Years. You're good.
You know, his dad at the end coming out, and then like
came out as gay.
Well, the idiot let out a big demon monster, dragon or something.
Oh, those Asians and their dragons.
Yeah, and then
when will they learn?
And his last call, he decides, "Oh, I'm going to be a good guy." Gives his kid the rings and then dies.
Oh, damn! It's like that's almost like the ultimate sacrifice, kind of. No, not really.
I just kind of liked it. I like movies like that with karate type fighting.
Karate
judo chop.
Yeah,
kung fu movies.
So like Austin Powers, like the GOAT, right?
Yeah, the best.
Karate chop.
Judo chop.
Yeah, so that's I think pretty much everything we've got from Marvel, right? I mean, that's it. There's a 5-hour announcement.
Yeah.
We got a lot of the people's names out.
This just has the potential to be slightly better than anything they've been putting out for years.
Who are you guys most excited to see on it?
I think the same person I'm excited to see is the same person I'm not excited to see. RDJ, Robert Downey Jr. He was right.
Well, you'll see him in the end credits scene of Fantastic Four.
Fair enough.
So.
Well, but like, I saw a storyline in a YouTube short about a Doctor Doom that that interacts with Tony Stark. So I've seen something. I think what they're pulling the inspiration from for this like story. If I understand it correctly, that's kind of what I've seen.
It's all alternate universe crap.
Yeah. So
yeah,
and he's only going to be in this movie, and I think he might be in Secret War. But otherwise, he's not going to be playing Doom going forward.
And rightfully so. I mean, like you can't just kill a guy off.
Very expensive.
Well, the storyline that sounds to me like what they're going to do is that Robert Downey Jr. playing Tony Stark, that same person in this alternate universe is now Van Doom or Von Doom. What's his first name? Victor Von Doom. Sorry.
It's Doctor.
Well, it's Victor. It's Victor Von Doom. So that's Tony Stark's character. Victor goes to the same university as Tony Stark in this new universe, and then he takes on Tony Stark as like they collaborate together, and then Doom takes over Stark Industries and takes over all of the Iron Man suits and makes them into drones, and basically now is Victor Von Doom, but he also has all of Tony Stark's shit. So that's the storyline that I heard that was that sounded like it was logical for how they were going to bring Tony Stark's character into Victor Von Doom. So I mean, if it is that storyline, we could see something kind of dark play out from it. I could be kind of sold on a storyline like that. But again, Robert Downey Jr. was right when he was talking to Joe Rogan. He's like, I do feel a little bit like everything we got from Endgame as far as like emotional payoff or like consequences for the story are all being taken away and set back. And I'm not a fan of that. I feel like if you have a consequence, multiverse gives you an opportunity to like just to take it away. I don't like that for storytelling. And from a storytelling perspective,
A death should have meaning.
that's what yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. That's the best way to summarize it.
Well put.
Yep.
But you know how much they paid RDJ to get him back?
I can
Money should have
imagine.
more meaning than death. Money beats death.
How much was it?
So, just in the budget for this next movie, it's already up to $100 million just for getting RDJ back.
Wow.
Holy shit.
But I think it's also for the next movie, so it might just be like 50-50, but still.
Well, that's, I mean, was it 20 million or 30 million?
I think it's 20 for the Russos.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's
Get the
making,
Russo brothers back.
yeah, so
The
the
directors.
big money's big money.
Yeah, and then you already got 27 cast members announced. How much are they getting paid? It's going to be like the most expensive movie ever made.
All of this is way too much money. I mean, we had, I mean, what did,
have to make $2 billion.
Yeah.
well, did Endgame break 2 billion or did it
I
get like
think
1.5?
They kept on re-releasing it in theaters, so I don't really remember.
Is that because of COVID?
No,
No.
it was right before COVID.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So we got, yeah, it was the last big blockbuster I think we did get before COVID,
Gotcha.
if I'm remembering correctly. And everything was like, it beat the Titanic. And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, adjusted for inflation, a lot of movies beat the Titanic.
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
The hell does that even mean?
It's far less of an accolade than it used to be. I mean, Deadpool, Wolverine, nuked it.
Yeah.
I think Barbie even beat the Titanic. If I'm remembering, if I think the numbers are correct, I could be wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
Off topic, but I did like that movie.
I didn't.
Barbie?
We went and
Yeah.
saw and did a review for Oppenheimer instead. But that whole weekend, that whole cinematic run, Barbie took a lot from Oppenheimer, but I am wondering, I mean, was Barbie made for kids or was it made for like adults who grew up with Barbies? Because those are two different categories of people. So I
Yeah.
mean,
I think it was like a young adult kind of movie.
okay. Fair enough.
But Endgame made 7.8 or 6. Jesus Christ,
7 billion?
2.8 billion.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's impressive. It's good money.
for being re-released a bunch of times.
Back to Barbie real quick. Did you feel your toxic masculinity fade away while you were watching the film? Did you feel the ghost of like Andrew Tate leave your body?
Nah, when you got Margot Robbie up there as the star,
You just hope they don't see what's going on under the blanket.
My,
you're not worrying about yourself.
my testosterone was pumping.
No, her and Ryan Gosling were funny together. I
can
didn't know Ryan Gosling was that funny. Like, I think he's actually hilarious.
Dude, you gotta check out the knockout.
The Notebook.
No,
Bro, you gotta get in on this movie. It's a banger. It's called The Notebook.
it's fucking hilarious.
Bro, my gains.
It's like the knockdown guys or something. Not Ryan Reynolds.
Oh.
Fucking son of a bitch.
Roadhouse.
No.
Oh,
With
I really thought I was on to something with Roadhouse because that's.
All right,
Is
give
that
me-
Ryan Gosling?
Give me a second here.
Is that Jake Gyllenhaal?
That was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Damn it! I always get those two.
I'm blanking on names and movies right now.
Yeah, you are. You're dropping the ball, man. Piece of shit. You suck.
You suck.
You suck. Nerd.
Is it that one
Nice
where he
Guys.
fights Chris Evans? Oh,
The Nice Guys.
Nice Guys.
With Russell Crowe.
Oh.
That's a fucking hilarious movie.
yeah, that was good.
All right, guys. We got more stories to get into, so we're going to jump over to our next one. Rachel Zegler, Snow White's producer's son, apparently confirms Rachel Zegler controversy, accuses Zegler of narcissism in epic social media takedown. We have the post pulled up. We're gonna read over that. But so Snow White has been an absolute disaster for Disney. They have lost they're going to lose their asses on this film. And apparently second weekend they lost 50% of their like viewership from the first week, or 50% of their audience, or 50% of their box office numbers from first week.
Yeah, I mean, it's normal for a movie to usually lose that many.
Drop off, but I mean, when your number
is pretty,
but when
the number's already so low.
When you have 10 people, losing 5 is significant. When you have 1,000 people, losing 500 is a little less significant.
I mean, the guy cleaning the theater wasn't even watching it.
Yeah, there was Rachel Zegler put out a post or something like about the movie where she's in a theater alone, just clapping and laughing maniacally at the screen. It's circulating around on X. I should have pulled it up for this video. I should have pulled it up for this.
I'm on the big screen.
I'm on the big screen now.
Yeah.
So let's actually talk about the movie. We got the IMDb up here. The movie with 230,000 reviews reporting 1.5 out of 10. This steals the spot from, what is it? It steals the spot from Dragon Ball Evolutions. And it steals the spot from, well, War of the Rohirrim didn't get a 1 out of 10 on here, did it? That was just my personal review for it.
No, Dragon Ball Evolution is actually like 2 something. I think it's 2.1.
Jeez, we need some references for how low this is. Like
that's the lowest one I think right now.
Like this is just the bottom. This is what equates to a 0. This is the scale didn't even go this low until this movie broke the glass floor. It was a feminist achievement. They broke the glass floor.
Feminist communist achievement.
So
Is there a way to look up lowest to highest ratings on this?
I have no idea. It probably is. I know that there's other platforms that sort by it, but I don't know how IMDb does.
I'll look around.
What is so Ty, what is your familiarity with like the Snow White project? Did you even know this movie was coming out?
No, I did not.
Okay, so
and it looks like it shouldn't have.
No. Okay, so let me give you a brief, simple as possible breakdown of where the controversy for this film started. So it was a while ago. Snow White releases we knew Snow White was going to come out. They were talking about doing a live action for a bunch of films. Snow White was on the list. And so after a bunch of other live action films or retellings of or reboots had happened, we get Snow White. They put out their first promotional piece, which is her in her Snow White outfit, sitting in a meadow, and 7 diverse cast members.
The 7 hobos from San Francisco.
Yeah, standing adjacent to her in the meadow in a line, and that was supposed to be some sort of concept art for Snow White and the 7 diversity hires or some bullshit like that. And it was absolutely lambasted. It was. They got roasted so damn hard over that, and then it goes on that they start tinkering with the idea of going back to doing dwarves. Well, Peter Dinklage, the dwarf actor who's from like,
wait, they went away from dwarves? Like,
okay, there's a
those
lot
diversity hires or dwarves?
Do you want
a lot of
am I missing too much?
No, there's a lot of speculation going on. Like some people say that the dwarves were planned all along, and they were gonna have these 7 other. I think they're like rebels or some shit in the fucking movie. I don't know.
Her merry men.
Yeah, but other sources say that dwarves weren't a plan because they wanted to be so woke or whatever. It's like we can't have little people or whatever.
1.5 out of 10. You deserve it.
You bring back the little people, and I'll give it a 2.
Yeah.
Give it a 2.
Sorry, what
there's
were you
like
saying?
a bunch of reshoots and stuff, so we're not sure what the original plan was for like the dwarves, but
sure,
that's all speculation at this point.
But it was always the plan to have them CG'd instead of
I feel like
real actors.
I feel like that's the problem, that it's even a question. The dwarves are going to be in the movie. Like,
Well, so there was originally the idea that they could be cast, and because this is a major film that would have had 7 roles for people who are short, little,
yeah,
people whom are little.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Well, Peter Dinklage, the guy from Game of Thrones, plays Tyrion Lannister. He's already like king of the little people. He's already like the highest among them.
I agree.
He wasn't voted in. Right? He was just placed
He
there.
survived.
You don't
Game
vote
of
for a king.
Thrones.
You don't vote for a king.
I didn't vote for him.
So he goes on Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan, I don't know if you've heard of him. He's very famous. He used to be a CNN host, and then he has his own platform and show now. Peter Dinklage goes on his platform and starts talking about how it's incredibly it's incredibly bad for them to like put little people on screen and take advantage of them to pander and do all this other shit. And then you have another little person actor who comes out and he's like, no, that was like 7 really good roles that we all could have used. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is for us to get fucking jobs in this?
Yeah, and you're just gonna cut out 7 great roles in a major production for little people.
Yeah.
And
Peter
that
Dinklage pulled the step ladder up behind him.
yeah. The stool. Oh,
Point though, yeah, they took jobs away from hardworking actors. To stay woke.
yeah,
To support them.
to support them. We don't want people taking advantage of you. This way we don't have to pay you. What?
I think the same thing happened with the remake of Wonka.
With
where-
yeah, the Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, they had Hugh Grant CGI all over the Oompa Loompas.
Yeah,
They didn't use a single little person.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love this story more and more as everything goes on. So those were a couple of the major criticisms. Rachel Zegler, who's cast as Snow White, she's the main character, or she plays the main character. She is also heavily involved politically as far as like just putting her opinions out there, attacking people as racist, sexist, and misogynist, going after people in articles, attacking them online from social media, and doing all of this while you have the marketing campaign for the project going on. It was pretty clear that she had a particular set of the audience she didn't want to show up to the film. And then they didn't. She got exactly what she wanted.
What was even worse is you got Rachel Zegler going on Twitter. It's like Free Palestine, while her co-star is Gal Gadot, which is Israeli, and served in the IDF.
Yeah. So, and yeah, all of that's just absolutely absurd and ridiculous. It's crazy to think that like they had so little control over their actress that she's just out there just making all these claims while also promoting your film. She would have been fired day one. I would have gone right back to casting before putting a single frame in a camera.
Yeah, this whole drama started almost like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was really, really early on that we all kind of got a glimpse of what was going to happen. And, you know, from the YouTuber perspective, we're all just enjoying the show. Like, we get the most out of everything before the movie comes out, and then we get to be like, all right, it was pretty damn good. Oh, actually, that sucked worse than I thought. No, that was right exactly what we believed it was going to be. Like, we get the most out of all of this before everything happens. It's fun to watch the debris crash. The explosion is the highlight, but it's also fun to watch a shooting star.
It's hard being right.
It's hard to be right. So we got 1.5 out of 10, and I pulled up my favorite review title, Rooting for the Apple. I love this one. The Disney's live-action Snow White is finally here, and after watching it, I can confidently say that the magic mirror needs a new prescription. Or needs a new prescription. This movie is less fairest of them all and more fairest at failing upwards. If you ever wondered what it would look like if someone took the classic 1937 animated masterpiece, ran it through a corporate buzzword generator, and then tossed in some awkward CGI for good measure, congratulations, you found your answer. A princess with personality, kind of, and it keeps going on from there. The only positive thing I've heard about this film is that the music was mid. That the songs were okay. That's the best review I've heard of this movie so far. And
I mean, I wasn't jabbing my ears out with the corn dog stick. But
I've done that before. That's not fun. It's not a good time. Let's see what so before the movie actually released, we had the producer going out to talk to Rachel Zegler, flying out to her location. I don't know where
yeah,
it
like
was.
he's
her
in
home.
LA, she's in New York. He had to fly out. It's explained in a response.
Yeah. So let's get to the actual response, because I think we've broken down the context enough. The exchange set the internet ablaze. All right. So on Instagram, someone commented, your dad flew to New York City to reprimand a young actress. Any words on this? Because that's creepy as hell and uncalled for. People have the right to free speech. No? Shame on your father. Here we go. This is the guy's response to that. You really want to do this? Yeah, my dad, the producer of My dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting the movie for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for. This is called adult responsibility and accountability. Her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged. Bra fucking vo, my man. That is well said, my dude. I don't even know I don't even know anything about this person. I don't know if we agree on politics. I don't know if we agree on like how a movie should be produced. I don't know if we agree on anything.
His dad did just produce Snow White, which is a feminist communist movie. So
yeah, it would be a bad film even if she wasn't talking about her politics. It's like he's responsible for what's on screen. She's responsible for what's on the internet. And so what's on the internet is at least 50-50 or a 5 out of 10 because you have half the audience love what she's saying, half don't. The movie is a 1 out of 10. He loses. He's like also shit. Like we don't have to coddle him either, but I mean,
Disney's really throwing Rachel Zegler under the bus. It's not like she doesn't deserve it or anything, but it's like your movie was going to suck ass regardless.
Yeah.
So
and I mean, I want to know from your perspective, Ty, like from where we're standing, no one is asking for these live action films anymore. No one's asking for a live action of. No one asked for a live action of Tarzan. No one asked for a live action of The Lion King or Snow White. No one asked for Lilo and Stitch as a live action. No one asked for.
That's the next one.
Yeah. No one asked for any of these movies to be live action. And Disney's not stopping. The only one that I'm aware of that made profit, and I think we talked about this the other week, and maybe I got my numbers a little wrong on here, but The Lion King, Mufasa was the only one that actually made a profit.
No, they've all been making a profit. That's why they keep on making them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm remembering more of the conversation was about why normies keep feeding the sewer pipe.
Yeah, to keep getting shit.
But like, I mean,
Mufasa was the one that was closest to not making any money, but it was just in theaters for so fucking long that it ended up making money.
Well, and the bullshit Disney played with Sonic.
Oh yeah, they're kicking Sonic out of theaters so they could put Mufasa on more screens.
Yeah, so
they have that power.
Yeah.
So I mean, do you have a perspective do you have a differing perspective? Like, is there anything about these movies that is redeeming from a different perspective? Like, is there anything about them that like other people that we're missing? Like, are you kind of on the same boat? I mean,
I think it's actually a positive for the consumer too. I mean, yeah, they make money on it, but you know, they've been losing so much money, like either buying films or like Marvel and Star Wars, that something like that, sure, it costs them money, but they don't have to come up with the idea, so it's less time, less money.
Well, they kind of still do because they rewrite the originals into something else.
The first Lion King was almost word for word.
Yeah, that was pretty simple.
That was script. That was nearly a match script wise.
So like Mulan was different. I'm not sure how different Aladdin was.
Yeah, I shouldn't say that for all of them, but I guess my point was, we grew up with those movies when they were animated.
Yeah,
right.
And it's
fucking great.
It's a cheaper way for them to make money, and
Nostalgia.
The next generation gets the same thing.
Here's one question I have. If you had a strategy, let's say we could rewind 10 years and you have all of these really beloved Disney projects. Let's say you start with like Frozen and you go all the way back to I mean, you don't have to like it, Cody, but this generation loved it. Like it's beloved.
Yeah.
Like even if you don't enjoy it or you're not going to watch it.
I like it in the fact that I was hanging out with a chick when that movie was on, so.
Yeah, so there you go.
Boom.
Yeah. She didn't look away. But
and we sat through the whole fucking thing.
You know it's a good movie then.
She's like, stay off me. Get off. But no, you have you have all the DC or all the Disney animated films, and rather than going through all the hassle of remaking the film as a live action, which I despise almost every one of the live actions. And then when you look at the young people who you're trying to get them to go see The Lion King, and you're making a live action for them, I don't even know that they prefer the live action over like a well-made animated film.
Yeah, they could have just animated it too, and that would have been fine, but it would have looked almost too much like just a repeat.
Well, the new generations don't care about movies or TV either. They're all like TikTok or whatever internet
short film or like short story. Yeah,
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, my thought is like if you wanted to, you could make. My understanding is that you can make a ridiculous sum of money if you just took The Lion King, put it back in theaters for 4 weeks. Because if you have an audience if you have adults who want to bring their kids to go see a Lion King film, then you'd take them to the original Lion King.
Speaking of throwing it back into theaters, next month is the 20th anniversary.
Lord of the Rings?
No, Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, fuck you.
Revenge of the Sith, and they're dropping that back into theaters.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, probably go to that.
We're
Can
doing
I
that.
come?
Yeah, fuck yeah, you can.
I just watched all
No, it's
9
a
of them
date.
like 2 weeks ago.
Well, there's only 6. So I mean, there's only 6. We don't
Fair,
talk about
fair.
we don't talk about the other 3. Well, hold on. What did you think of the sequel trilogy? Like the latter 3?
The latter 3?
Yeah. Force Awakens, the last
Last Jedi and
Rise of the
Skywalker.
Yeah.
Rise of the Palpatine.
There's almost no Jedi shit in it. I didn't like it at all.
Okay. Cool.
The fights alone are dog shit. It's like two
Yeah.
people just grab bats, and start swinging at each other.
Basically.
Well, lightsabers don't kill anymore.
No,
Like,
you can't die.
they fast forward-
It's a minor inconvenience.
Yeah, they fast forward 50
Yeah.
years into the future, and now all of a sudden lightsabers can't kill anything.
Like my YouTube short algorithm has been just bombarded with prequel shit. It's like the way they were doing the fights and shit, and they practiced for months, and it was just fucking sweet.
There's also like
Like they had to slow down the Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul fight because they were going too fast.
yeah,
So they had to slow down the film. That's cool shit.
yeah. There's a lot of like modern edits of the original or the prequel trilogy that I find to be just so fun. The battle with Anakin and Obi-Wan, like on Mustafar when they're on the lava planet, they took the dialogue, put it into AI, and had it do a metal song, like a death metal song, and then they put it over and dubbed the actual like part of the film with that song in the dialogue. It hits really fucking hard, and I love it.
That sounds cool as shit.
Yeah, it's. I'll see if I can find that again, and I'll share it. But it was so damn good. I think, yeah. So I think when it comes to Rachel Zegler, Snow White,
She's out of Hollywood now.
yeah,
She's going to do a play in like England or something.
she's gonna go off and do plays and shit. She's gonna be fucking pleased about it.
She's not hireable anymore.
This is gonna, yeah. That producer should not be hireable anymore.
Yeah, you wait till like the movie was out and it's like, hey, shut up, bitch.
You want to spend all this extra time with your family, you're gonna have plenty of it. All right, let's jump into another story. We got more to cover here. We're gonna be talking about Ubisoft.
Boobies.
Ubisoft. Okay, so we all know how Assassin's Creed Shadows came out. If you've been following the channel, we've been talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows for a year. I think maybe even longer.
It's been another long fucking press thing.
Yeah, and so we had just to help, just to get everyone up to speed. Assassin's Creed Shadows gets announced, and we're all excited that it's going to be finally an Assassin's Creed project set in Japan. After how many projects have they had on Assassin's Creed? 7 more? I don't know the number. I'm guessing out of like my kind of recollection of the of the gameography. So, like, if you have an idea.
Mainline ones. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them.
Okay, so at least 10.
Yeah, there's more, yeah.
So we got 10 projects here, and we finally, after all of that time, all those video games have like been made and come out. They finally get a project set in feudal Japan, which people have been asking for. For people who are fans of the franchise have wanted that for a long time. They finally get it, and because Ubisoft has gone so hard down the woke and DEI bandwagon, they had to make sure that the main characters of the story were both black and a female character. They could not allow themselves to put a Japanese character as the main character. That would have been too racist. It would have been way too racist. Not allowed.
They scoured the history of Japan to find the one guy that visited in the 1600s and made him the protagonist.
Exactly. Now, one perspective on this. At the time, they were kind of starting to figure this out. Yasuke was becoming popularized in like Netflix with like Black Samurai. They had the Yasuke game.
Yeah, there's like adaptations.
Yeah.
Of the story.
So when they were doing like the character concepts of it, Yasuke was popularizing, at least in the development of those projects. So maybe they were trying to grab onto a trend. but they did it with the wrong IP. Then you have to have the other character who's a shinobi, who's like female character, had to be girl power, boss mode. I'm so glad they made her ridiculously weak, though. At least that makes sense.
Well, he's the tank and she's the stealthy one.
Yeah. So that's the starting point of this whole debacle. Then you have the fact that this studio had put so much money into hiring history and cultural consultants, or cultural sensitivity consultants, to make sure that they represented feudal Japan as accurately as they possibly could. Then they go off and they steal a bunch of like actual flags that people had, like that, like different like organizations had and were using, that were like copyrighted and trademarked. And they had done all of this work to like disgrace and dishonor all of these historically significant like sites and places in feudal Japan.
Yeah, there's like, you can destroy like temples and shit like that, or desecrate temples. You can just kill. Okay, this has never been in an Assassin's Creed game, but you can just kill civilians willy nilly in this one.
Oh,
Yeah, in the other ones, you'd like, if you killed one on accident, there would be like a warning, and the other one, it'd just be like death.
oh, okay.
So Ubisoft is a French company, and I didn't realize they had such a grudge against Japanese people.
I mean, they got studios all over. Not sure which one this one is made by.
But the other, so as soon as all of the cultural stuff started happening, where now Japan has like you could break all the shrines, you can destroy historically significant artifacts. They were getting all this history wrong about these character interactions and who was where and doing what. And then they started, there's more to get into with that, but Japan's government got involved, and petitions were being signed in Japan, where it was something like 80,000 people signed petitions calling out Ubisoft and saying they want the game like banned or like sent back to the studio to be reworked on, or with like changes that were culturally significant. So all of that was fantastic, and we really enjoyed talking about all of that stuff. And then the game, fast forward to in between now and then, Ubisoft had put out other games, not The Division, X-Defiant.
X-Defiant, Skull and Bones.
The Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh yeah, Star Wars. That one's so forgettable. Holy shit.
Star Wars Outlaws. So they had put out game after game after game that were...
It was made by the Quebec.
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 Oh,
Still French bastards.
French Canadians.
Yeah.
They hate Japan even more. But they put out all these games that were just ridiculous flops. They failed so hard. They made no money. Some of them shut down after like 2 weeks. So it was absolutely horrible following all this news for them. Well, you get to so all of that happens, and while those games are failing, Ubisoft's future, like financially, is in serious jeopardy, and that was news breaking last fall, that their stocks had been plummeting and just dropping so hard after specifically the Star Wars game. Star Wars game was kind of like the last straw. And then they're like, okay, we need Assassin's Creed Shadows to really make bank in order to keep us where we want to be. It has to be the best game we've ever sold. And that was last fall. And so after that happened, we were seeing news about Tencent, another large company in the gaming sphere, potentially out of China, potentially buying up Ubisoft, like just sucking them up, buying them, getting all the IPs, getting everything, and potentially saving the company after buying them and like rebuilding them to go back to doing things as well as they possibly could. So to get through all of that, and we get to release. Now on release day, we find out that the game is exactly what we thought it was going to be, as far as like it was very, very progressive, DEI, very woke. They had like gay sex scenes, they had gay interactions between characters, and they had Yasuke apparently screwing the Emperor's sister. Or am I getting that wrong?
I think it was
Nobunaga, his sister. So Yasuke.
Which, there's some like backstory to like the imperial line is kept pure and whatnot, so insinuating that she's getting it on with Yasuke is like, all right, so like all the emperors of Japan that henceforth got some black in them.
Yep, that was the best example of cultural like colonization
They
ever.
like Chinese flags too, and it's, it's supposed to be Japan. And I don't know if you know this, but Japan and China don't really like each other.
They're not fond.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah. There's some history there.
I've seen the South Park episode. They are not fun. They are not fans. Oh, shitty walk and shitty sushi. I'm speaking English. Why don't you speak English? I'm just quoting the South Park episode now. It's funny enough to go watch on your own, guys. Just go watch it, okay?
Let me do these racist accents real quick.
Let me just drop some casual racism in the stream right now. Didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
So the release drops. The game is an Assassin's Creed title, so I think everyone expected it to do somewhere in the middle, where it was not going to be a 0-out flop because Assassin's Creed fanboys were going to hard buy into it. And then you had people who are kind of mid on Assassin's Creed who like the franchise, but they wanted to make sure it was going to be a good game. And they did not care for it. And then there's everyone else who just didn't give the game even a chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a complete flop, but it's not a success either. Like, there's reports Ubisoft put out. It's like, all right, we're up to 2 million players or whatever, which would, I don't know, like 2 million units sold. They would need to sell like 4 or 5 in order to make a profit.
Yep.
Because it's a big company with a fuckload of employees that put a shitload of money into this game, and
Marketing budget.
marketing's been fucking insane with all the like walking back stuff and trying to get people to come back.
Yeah.
But like,
And the lawsuits.
so there's like, sure, you're up to 2 million players, but like, almost 2 million of those players would have to come from console because there's 40,000 people playing on Steam.
So yeah, so this game just busted so freaking hard. So
a lot of people dropped off immediately after buying it.
And so the news broke that Ubisoft was breaking into a subsidiary. So they were making a second company to basically move their IPs over to, and to to basically have their Tencent's acquisition work through that subsidiary. So Tencent already owned 25% of this, or I think 25% is the number. I could be getting that one wrong.
Yeah, they own like a quarter of the Ubisoft now or something.
Yeah, so they had to do the spin-off company. Well, now the news breaks, and we got the story. Ubisoft employees fear layoffs after Tencent deal and new subsidiary formation. Ubisoft employees are rattled over potential of mass layoffs, and they have every reason to be. On Thursday, Ubisoft announced it is forming a new gaming subsidiary in partnership with Chinese tech giant Tencent. The new entity will house the company's most valuable franchises, including Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six, along with select development studios.
Fuck yeah.
While the press release spins this as the start of a new bold chapter, internal reactions suggest that the only bold thing about this move is the level of uncertainty it has created for Ubisoft's remaining workforce.
I hope they just like, all right, we're going to fire 75% of the company. We're going to keep this
25%. That's
like,
nearly what Elon did with X.
They have like 19 to 23,000 employees. So it's like, yeah, thousands of you are going to lose your jobs.
Yeah, Ubisoft is good. Okay. So this could look like a bad thing as far as like a big Chinese company buying up IPs, and I would rather see Elon buying them up, especially considering how cheap it is. I mean, for crying out loud, it's like, do we want every successful gaming venture to be made by China? I'd prefer not.
Well, they're doing it right now. Well, Ubisoft has been sucking for years.
That's my point.
Two of those, Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, I've played every single one of those games. I like the franchises, so I'd rather have it where, surprisingly enough, Chinese have my best interest as a gamer
Yeah.
than Ubisoft does.
I'm very fond of the due process I get in America. China's got some good video games. I don't know. It's like
They're doing their own thing with their government and whatnot. They just keep on providing me with good entertainment.
I am sure that if I went to China, I would spend my entire life in prison. I don't think I'd.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way.
As soon as you step off the train.
I'm taking the train from middle America to Beijing.
Yeah.
just across the Pacific. Just underwater trains.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, just they're like submarines, I think. So I mean, should we feel bad for the employees or not? Like, no. Ty, what do you think? Bad for the employees.
You did a bad job for many years. You're out.
I mean,
it's not really the developer's fault either, but
I mean, it's the direction of the studio.
All right, so what? We just keep you indefinitely just cause we get sads if we fire you?
I do feel like game development is an industry that has like enough demand that you're gonna be fine going somewhere else. I feel like there's so many
fuckload of studios out there.
Yeah. You can either code or you can't. If you can code, you got a job somewhere. But
that's what
that company failed. Like the highest guy down to the, whoever is marketing it just didn't work. So they don't they didn't do a good enough job to keep their jobs. But
Right.
Is this the first one we've seen fall then? This is the first fall because we've been talking about Warner Brothers and them being bankrupt for
I
a
would
long
say it's
time.
the first big fall. Yeah.
So just for context, Ty, we've been talking on the
Recently.
channel about like how does Warner Brothers Studios keep putting out these major blockbusters and have them all flop and lose money? How does Disney put out movies that lose $100 million at the box office, like the Marvels, for example, or other projects that they have, and not fail or break down? And this is the first one. This is the first big studio of any like major entertainment studio that actually.
Is breaking down.
And it was weird to see them go before Warner Brothers. That's I'm just throwing.
Well,
this
I
out
don't
there.
know how Warner Brothers does. Whatever.
Were you trying to say something?
Like Disney, I could see keep going because they get money from their amusement parks and shit like that. So
Fair enough.
They got money to lose. Warner Brothers doesn't.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay.
It's dead, and I'm glad my favorite franchises are moving the fuck on
To China.
to China.
China.
We're going to China.
Going to Beijing, y'all. Which third-party studios road trip to Beijing.
Now the only thing that you can't do, you can't like type in like the year 1989 in the chat or anything because Tiananmen Square never happened.
Oh, this is what I mean. I would be so arrested. I would be so in jail.
yeah, I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Big protests in '89 where the government killed a bunch of protesters.
In China.
China?
Yeah, and China denies it ever happened.
Yep.
Wow, they just can just rewrite history, huh?
Yeah, they
That's
can. It's the Communist Party of China. Yeah.
Shit.
who needs protests anyway? They're so in the way. All right, let's go. We got more news to jump into. So let's actually, as we're talking about big studios failing, let's move on to our next topic. Jennifer Salke out at Amazon Studios, Rings of Power fallout raises questions as Amazon eliminated studio head position entirely. What? I mean, holy shit. Amazon actually firing someone and giving accountability for absolute failures? What?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, all right, so they erased the studio head position completely. So they cut the
Yes.
head off the snake.
Yep.
Doesn't the rest of the snake die? Or are we just going to have like a conglomerate of people that are now the head?
So
It's like Medusa or something.
So we know that while Jennifer Saki was at Amazon, the projects that she led or was in charge of flopped and bombed hard, lost a lot of money.
Mhm.
Rings of Power being an example. If you've seen Rings of Power, if you like it, good for you. I'm glad, but the vast majority of people hated that show, and it was $1 billion project, and it's cost them hundreds of millions of dollars.
$1 billion.
Yeah. So I mean, like in the like trade off. So I mean, they probably got people to subscribe to Prime Video, and
I mean, as
which
long
is
as you got Amazon Prime, you got Prime Video, and almost everyone in the fucking country's got Amazon.
Do you have Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
You pay $100 for the shipping and all the like.
$100.
video-
No, it's like
Well, you were saying almost everyone has Amazon, and to have Amazon Prime, you have you have Amazon Prime, which gives you the delivery, and you give all these other like discounts and perks through Amazon, and then you get Prime Video as a perk.
Mhm.
But that's what I was hearing you say. If you're getting
where'd
just
the
Prime,
$100 come from?
that's what it costs to get like the Prime membership at Amazon, because you get all the free shipping or free 2-day shipping and all those other perks and
Oh.
Prime Video.
I'm paying them significantly less than that.
Look, are you just getting Prime Video then?
No, well, maybe. I don't know. I haven't gone on shipping for a while, so maybe that's expired or something. But
Okay. And I mean, my number might be old too. So I mean, in fairness, my number might be old. So might be less than that. Rings of Power though is unquestionably a financial disaster for them. But their stated goal at Amazon was to bring on more subscribers. It was not to win Oscars. It was to bring on more subscribers. So that's what they did. I don't think they brought in nearly enough to offset the tremendous investment they did.
no, $7 a month from people doesn't equate to that much fucking
But to your point about
income.
the snake dying, there are other projects on Prime Video that are successful that she was not at all involved in. So you had like the Terminal List, you had
Preacher.
Reacher. So she's not involved in those projects. So I mean,
She just bought him and left him alone, where she's been like almost like a creative part of like Rings of Power and shit like that.
which I can't.
So the things she's left alone have been successful.
Yeah.
She's interfered with have just dropped dramatically.
It's kind of cool when you could see in black and white that clearly who's responsible for destroying shit.
Right.
That's kind of nice. It's
Yeah.
kind of makes our job a little simpler. They got to dig through the weeds to find who's responsible. It's always Jeff Bezos, though. But no, her position's been eliminated, so we won't have that kind of oversight position. I mean, the responsibilities are probably just mitigated somewhere else, but I mean, that's what you do when you have a position that goes away. Take those roles.
Yeah,
Roll them
I don't
off.
know if it's gonna change anything with Amazon. You're still gonna get shitty Rings of Power and shitty Fallout, and
Well, season 3, definitely. I mean, we're guaranteed a season 3.
there might not be a number 4.
It.
They're signed for 5, and I don't know. They're not gonna make it to 5.
I take personal frustration with Rings of Power fans because I have so much love for the Lord of the Rings universe and Tolkien's work. And so, like, anyone who's like, oh, did you see Rings of Power? Like, yeah, I watched the pilot of Rings of Power. I saw the first episode, and they're like, oh, it's so great, right? You like the fighting and everything? I was like, dude, that show, like, Tolkien's spinning in his grave. That show is that show's so bad. And he's like, who's Tolkien? I'm like, I fucking punch you in the face, dude.
I'll put you in the mouth.
It's like, you don't even know what you're cheering at. You're a seal at a fucking, like, water aerobics show. You don't know what you're fucking cheering about.
I don't care about your opinion. I know what makes you cheer.
Your boos mean nothing. So, I mean, we'll get.
All right, so Amazon's number 2 right now in the top 10 most popular streaming services,
And-
with 200+ million worldwide.
Who is number 1? Is it Netflix?
Yeah, Netflix. Netflix is the only one that actually makes money. Everyone else doesn't really make anything.
Well, a few other platforms I think moved over to like elimination or restriction of password sharing, or you have to pay like an extra fee for it. So like Disney Plus up their pricing, and you do have to. There is a password sharing subscription you can buy, so you pay an extra $5 and you can password share for an account. So there's that. I mean, Ty, was there any shows on Amazon that you've like been into this last year or so, maybe longer?
I actually did like the season 3 of that Reacher.
Did you know? Are you excited for
I
season
haven't
4?
watched that yet.
It's not like Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise.
I think it's better than that, actually.
I don't know. The second one sucked, but the first one I thought was pretty good. But no, it's a good show. I like Thad from Blue Mountain State.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a tough guy, but I still picture him screaming.
Yeah, people want him to play Batman next.
No,
That's a fan casting.
really?
I'd actually be for that.
We have so
He's
much.
got the build and shit for it, but the billionaire playboy, I don't know if he could pull that off.
We need more Robert. Or is it Pattinson? We need more like Pattinson to keep playing.
Yeah, but that's on. I could go on a whole like hour discussion of what DC's up to and how it's just.
Do you guys like Robert Pattinson?
I do.
I
I,
like
think
that-
he's
I like
underrated
that
as shit.
movie.
I think he is so underrated. I think that his roles in Twilight really typecasted him, but I think other roles he's played in since. So he played in The King, where he was the Prince of France. I thought he was awesome as that role. I did think he was perfect as Batman in this last casting. I think he's probably my second or third favorite. He's definitely up there in the amount of like different cast. Like I would like for
I
Batman.
think he's a good casting for Batman, but I didn't like that movie. It was just too dark.
I mean, it's
That's what I lack.
Yeah. So I guess it depends on what you like.
Right.
But
Well,
too dark for me.
I mean,
Christian Bale's.
Christian Bale's was a good median where you did have like
Yeah.
kind of a dark setting, but you had a dark setting, but the hero wins. It's like it's the hero's adventure that you get. So there's still an uplifting light in it. Whereas you definitely had the darkest tones coming from Robert Pattinson's
Yeah.
Batman out of anything I've seen on film.
I agree. He's a good Batman.
Anytime you say the Batman now, I just get the score playing in my head from the beginning. Dun, 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 dun.
So we got Rings of Power, which was an absolute disaster. Like people who even
You
sing,
watched season 1, right?
yeah. So no, I watched the pilot of season 1.
Okay,
So I
then you
watched
did.
the first episode. That's all I've ever.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I ever seen. And I mean, I've stayed up to speed on like the breakdown of how the show has played out as far as, you know, how they like found each other on the shipwreck.
Yeah, I've been
And then-
watching episode breakdowns, but I haven't. Been
That's it. I mean, we're not doing reviews of it. We're just talking about the news. So I mean, don't come to us for a Rings of Power review. We're just talking about what's going on with the show. But I mean, if you want to know the numbers, we got the actual decline of the show from season 1 throughout season 1. They dropped their audience like the numbers are here. So season 1 nearly 8 billion minutes of watch
Which
time.
that means nothing.
Yeah. I mean, people leave their TVs on for their dogs.
Right.
So, I mean, with season 2, that number dropped to around 3 billion with a staggering 60% decline. And then from season 2, the Hollywood Reporter revealed only 37 of season 1 viewers actually finished that season. So season 1, only 37% stuck around to finish the season. And then you had a 60% decline from season 1 into season 2. So that's...
So there's like 4 people watching right now.
Yeah, there's... one of my family members is one of them, and I'm just like, dude, stop. Cut it out.
Who's
The
that?
break.
I don't want to throw it out on. I'll tell you off. I'll tell you off screen, but I don't want to say anything on the video. But
I don't know. Through the breakdowns and shit that I've seen, it's one of the dumbest shows that. It's like a CW fucking.
it's bad.
show.
Yeah, it's not gored. I mean,
It's plot contrivance after plot contrivance
Can
after
so
coincidence after coincidence.
we can also say that I don't know if this is news to you, Ty, but we did report on it a few weeks ago that James Bond is now under the creative control of Amazon. So Amazon has full creative rights to James Bond now, which means no more movies, no more feature films in theaters.
Well, they still can.
They can, but they have no
They're
interest.
just gonna make it for their streaming.
Yeah,
service,
they can do it. There's no financial interest for them in doing it, and they have no like creative interest in doing it either. They might still do it, but it's against their interests. So Amazon has the rights to James Bond. Here's what we're likely looking at. We are looking at a James Bond show. We're looking at spin-off shows. We're looking at new characters, new typecasting. You're looking at a lot more diversity, and you're going to get a female James Bond. You're going to get
a show based in the world of James Bond, just the real world.
no. I mean, when was the last time we heard of a nuke going off? No, James Bond is not set in the
Well,
real.
you're never gonna hear the nuke went off. Like,
I mean, we'll might feel it. It's kind of hard to hide a nuke.
I think that's so dumb, though. I can't tell how I feel about that. How do you guys feel about it being a show?
Oh well, I don't really care that much about James Bond, but I know it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
Let me throw
it's,
this. So to answer your question on the show aspect of things, I think that James Bond, we have so many historically significant actors who have played this role. It's important it's an important historically significant role in Hollywood.
George
Yeah,
Lazenby
it's
is my
like-
favorite.
Lazenby?
He was in for one movie and didn't give a shit.
There's a formula to James Bond that's tested, it's true, and I think that there is still a value in having those films be what they are.
Yeah.
I think that everything you do outside of that has the potential to water it down and lessen its impact as far as like how the movies are perceived, things like that. I think that it is possible for a good faith actor to go in, take that IP, make a show, and have it be good and successful. I don't think it's worth the risk in trying. I don't see any value in the attempt.
Yeah, you don't want to buy that and then potentially ruin it. You know?
Exactly.
They don't
There's
really
a lot
give-
on that.
Yeah, they don't really give a shit though because Amazon's got more money than God,
Yeah.
so they don't.
And
It's
that's-
more of a vanity.
God
project.
doesn't need money, Cody.
I know. Every time I say that, some douchebag says that.
Well, he has everything. He could make a titty so big even he can't lift it.
But anyway, it's just a vanity project for Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, and that's one that shouldn't be. You know, people dream of getting that role,
Yeah.
like Batman or
They mu-
Superman.
Yeah.
You know, that role that different actors cast.
Yeah, it'll
throughout
define your
decades.
career kind of
Yep.
role.
Exactly. And in my mind, I think the movies that we've seen from James Bond recently with Daniel Craig, I think they were fine. I think they were fine movies. I think some of them were great. I really
Yeah, I enjoyed them.
and so I think and every generation pretty much has their James Bond. And so even if Daniel Craig didn't personally care for Skyfall, and I don't remember what the other one, Quantum of Solace, I think he was doing an interview said he wasn't a fan of
He
those.
hated being James Bond.
Yeah, so
After the first movie, he's like, I don't want to do this.
Right.
And he stuck around for like 4 or 5 more.
hey, money does that to people. But I do think that I felt that way with like Lord of the Rings. I did not want this project. I did not want Rings of Power. I did not want War of the Rohirrim from Warner Brothers. And so seeing them do that to Lord of the Rings, I felt very like shitty about that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
then,
the announcement that there was, I won't say like an announcement. There was talks of them doing a Lord of the Rings show for a long time. And back then, after hearing that news, it's like, oh, sweet, we're getting more Lord of the Rings stuff. And then like studio after studio just kept on putting out shit and destroying franchises. And blah,
Yeah.
blah. And then at that point, you're just like, "Just don't touch anything.
Yeah.
It's like
Well, what's the thing that you want adapted for the big screen or whatever? It's like, I don't. No.
leave
don't touch it."
everything alone.
Yeah, those 3 movies were phenomenal. Let's call it good.
Re-release, just re-release,
Just
and then
keep
don't
putting them in
touch it.
theaters.
Give us more, like give us a whole generation's worth of like a new sneak peek into the blooper reel or new commentary behind the scenes of something, or like how did this movie age? Like give me new commentary, like the podcast with like Boyd, is it
Billy Boyd.
Billy Boyd and
Dominic Monaghan.
yeah, the podcast with those two. I was more interested in like their commentary about like being allowed to say the F word in like the Lord of the Rings than I would be about any of the new projects that have come out since. And if you don't know about this, Tyson, have you seen this yet or heard about this yet? So the actors who played Pippin and Merry from the original trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had a podcast, and on the podcast they were talking about how Lord of the Rings has a PG-13 rating, which allows them one swear word. And they were just
One fuck.
and they were asking where would you put it to each other. They just asked each other where would you put it. It's like fucking took. It's like fool or like
Fucking Pickleberry Fairy. or something.
fucking yeah. It's like, oh, I'm so fucking sorry, Gandalf. It's like, so all this they had some fun with it. I would much rather have 30 minutes of that
I
than
wanna, like Gollum saying, "Fucking taters."
That's a good one.
I want your shitty stew.
Yeah, my fucking precious.
So there's so
That
it's a
just turns into a different genre of movie. You know what I'm saying?
well, if you just keep going, yeah, I mean, we're having a good time, but I mean, if you just do one, it doesn't matter. It's like when in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, when Chris Pratt drops the first F-bomb in Marvel, he's like, "Open the fucking door."
I like that. That was a big deal.
I loved that. It was so well. It was
It was a very human moment.
yeah.
But
Well, with how dark that movie was, it needed some comedy.
True.
That
Yep.
that had me laughing out loud.
I did too. I thought that was fantastic. So we know that like Star Wars is a dead brand. We know that like there's not going to be any salvaging of the Star Wars franchise anymore. Like the new shows, you're gonna get one-off, slightly successful projects, but the original Star Wars fandom is checked out. Like the people who have like Luke and Leia tattooed on their arms, or have their kid like named Han, or or they have like the Star Wars posters everywhere, the collectibles, the wallpaper, or like the Star Wars bed sheets, like the pod racer bed.
But yeah,
Like-
it used to be a merchandise giant, and now nobody buys Star Wars merch
Exactly. So
unless it's old shit.
It's lost its value.
Yeah,
and
which is insane.
and
Yeah.
and so those people are checked out. They're not in after what was the Acolyte, the Star Wars sequel trilogy. I mean, there's so much in there to not be happy with that they are perfectly justified in just stepping away. I mean, there are people who are fans of The Mandalorian. They find Grogu to be cute, and that's all they got for that.
That was the only good thing they put on streaming was the first season of The Mandalorian.
Well,
After that, I
Yeah.
checked out.
You know why? Because the storyline wasn't about the fucking war. You know, everything is
Right.
about the rebellion war, like all of it, and it's not about the force.
Just
anymore.
rehashing the rebellion
Yeah.
over and over and over again.
Then they
just a
made one
dude
that was
follow-
about the force.
Yeah. You're just following around a bounty hunter.
well, and there was so much. And Disney like hit the ground and started stumbling immediately with the movies, because besides Rogue One, which I enjoyed and I find as a one-off in the entirety of Disney for Star Wars,
I didn't like it when it came out, but since everything else is worse, it's
It
not that bad.
yeah, it levels up for sure as you compare it. But they hit the ground and they were stumbling so hard. You had J.J. Abrams, who was going to direct the entire trilogy, and then
No, that's never the plan. They had zero plan.
well, I
It
mean,
was always going to be like a different.
you're making my point for me that he was originally going to be director, and then they dropped him off to be for John or what's his name, the
Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson, thank you, who directed the second movie, and then Abrams comes back for the third. And so they didn't even have a consistent storyline to go off of between these two different directors who had opposite visions apparently for how they wanted the story to run. So the entire thing was the entire sequel trilogy was narratively a tragedy. What was the whole thing in The Last Jedi where they go to the casino planet, Finn and the little Asian mechanic girl?
Oh, we got to save the slaves.
Yeah, and then I don't think they did. I'm pretty sure that planet still has slaves on it. I'm pretty sure they dropped the
The
ball.
slaves just had to clean up the mess that they wrought through there.
Yeah. So yeah, basically the point is that with Jennifer Salke and with all the other creatives, quote unquote, over at Amazon, we can't really expect or trust them to be shepherds of these IPs. So when it comes to Lord of the Rings, when it comes to James Bond, when it comes to, I mean, honestly, The Reacher, there was no reason to trust them with that. We only got lucky. We only got lucky with The Reacher. I mean, you still have Wheel of Time, you still have Citadel, you have all these other projects that they've touched that they've absolutely botched and ruined, and so there's not really much to say. Their list of successes is really short, and there's no reason to give goodwill to them. Jennifer Salke being out the door is, and there's some schadenfreude about it, but
it's like getting rid of Kathleen Kennedy. It's like it's not going to change anything in Star Wars.
The company culture is the same.
Yeah.
How they produce movies the same. You need a new generation of of like creatives to come into Hollywood, or even just start making movies elsewhere. Like we're getting the best games of our lives from China. Like the best video games of our lives are coming from somewhere else. Like the best movies and shows of our times are coming from independent studios or like smaller studios. Like, and that's the best that's the best we can expect. It's Hollywood will not fix itself. It has to be defeated. So
You have to defeat it with blood.
join me on the battlefield. We wage war.
We're going to streaming wars.
The pikes at midnight. The rising of the moon. Right. We have more stories to jump into, so we are going to continue on. And this is
just skip this one. We're getting kind of time heavy here.
We are. You don't want to just make it a short one? We got to only.
I mean, we can just. It's the quick. You know that movie that.
Well, hold on. Okay, guys, we're moving into the next story. It's gonna be a quick one. So the story basically comes around Rust and whether or not this movie is going to be successful or not. And honestly, I'm debating on whether or not I feel like what happened with Alec Baldwin killing that woman is going to promote the film and do a lot of bring a lot of publicity and attention to it, or if it's going to hurt it. And
the only reason people know about the movie.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. That's my question. So everything about Alec Baldwin, Rust, and Helena Hutchins' death gets worse. So we got the trailer.
We don't need to watch the trailer.
We don't need to watch the trailer, but it did just come out, and we do have the trailer is out on. Good thing we don't have to watch the trailer. But the trailer did just come out this week. I watched it. I thought the trailer looked pretty decent. I think Alec Baldwin, I can't see him and not like picture the gun in his hand and be like, is that the prop gun or is it not the prop gun? I'm waiting for the camera to like have like a ballistic bullet shatter effect.
Jerk.
Yeah, just have the camera like fall over backwards and then tumble over and see a body on the ground sideways. Anyway,
someone did die, but we digress.
We are digressing, but I mean, did you watch the trailer, Cody?
No, I don't give a fuck about the movie.
I think a good Western. I think we need more of those. I think we need more good Westerns out there in the world. And
everyone's waiting on not what the fuck, dude from Yellowstone. Why can't I remember his name?
Oh, you're talking about
yeah, no, you're blinking. Kevin Costner. Thank you.
Yeah,
good on you. Kevin Costner's next movie, because he's got that saga thing going on.
Oh, that's right. He does have that that long running.
Yeah,
right.
Horizon Saga.
So we got, I mean, and Yellowstone, and I mean, honestly, all of the Yellowstone spinoffs have been majorly successful. Even like 1883 and 1923, which would be categorized as like actual westerns, where it's you know the old time. And
yeah, they're money printing machines.
Yeah, so it's really weird. Like I remember when I was younger looking at westerns and having a complete void of interest in them, not at all being remotely excited or intrigued in checking them out. And I mean, I felt that way about a lot of older films. Westerns were just a category I didn't feel like exploring. Now that I'm a little older and I'm watching some I'm watching Tombstone and I'm watching some of the other westerns, and then modern westerns like The Magnificent Seven, I thought was awesome. I absolutely loved that movie.
Never watched it.
I enjoyed it too.
I thought it was fantastic.
You got to see that one, dude.
So I'm hoping that Rust is successful and good, and I am hoping I can watch it without feeling a certain way. It's kind of like watching a football game with O.J. Simpson playing again after
playing for your team.
Well, it's like, okay, he can run the ball.
We had that,
but I mean, he gets away with murder. It's like he kills someone, and then like,
we had that debacle. All right, now it's a new season. We'll get it behind us.
Let that dude kill it out there.
He's killing. Honestly, so we'll watch all of it. We'll watch it. We'll keep you guys informed on news around Rust. Short story, don't have a lot to break it down for you, just that the trailer released, we were going to react to it, but Cody mentioned we are getting a little time heavy, so we'll just move past it. We will continue on to other stories. So, with that out of the way, what should we talk about next? Do you want to go Nick Frost? Do you want to talk about Valve's announcement or Apple? Let you guys choose.
I mean, we'll probably talk a little bit more about Harry Potter.
All right, let's jump into it. All right, we got one more story to jump into. Harry Potter announcement. Nick Frost reportedly in talks to play Hagrid in HBO's Harry Potter series. We have had the other announcements that have come out. We have John Lithgow announced as Dumbledore. We have, who was the other confirmed cast member?
Nick Frost is the only other confirmed one right now.
Nick Frost confirmed?
Yes, this one and John Lithgow are confirmed. I've heard they've signed the contract.
Okay, gotcha.
The dude for Snape has not signed yet.
Yeah, that was
so let's
Papa
hope.
Sidhu.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with everything else going on around Harry Potter, with the race swap of Professor Snape, I don't know if you're familiar with that story, Tyson.
I'm not.
So Harry Potter, they're doing a spin-off TV series.
Oh, I heard that
on HBO Max. So Max is going to have this Harry Potter series every season, every 8-episode or 10-episode season. I'm not sure how many episodes each season will cover a single book. So you'll have 8 or so 50-minute episodes for each of the books, which will be fantastic. I do think that's a good way to tell that story. Now we've started to get casting rumors were coming out, and now we're starting to see some confirmations. John Lithgow is an actor you'd recognize if you don't know his name, but you'll recognize his picture. And then Nick Frost is apparently confirmed as well. So we have 2 cast members. Papa Sidhu is apparently cast as, or in rumors to be cast as Professor Snape, with that deal being finalized. And so Professor Snape will actually now be a black guy, which yeah, I mean, I also feel the same way. It's totally not a big deal at all. Like not even remotely reaction worthy.
It's just why? I mean, but if you want to do it, I guess.
It
whatever.
changes the entire story of Harry Potter is what it does.
Does it actually?
Oh yeah. Harry's dad basically would, when Harry goes in the pensive and watches Snape being bullied by his dad, basically he gets to see his dad hang a black guy from a tree.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's bullying and picking on this black kid who has a crush on his girlfriend.
It's just gonna turn into a race thing.
Yeah,
it's Harry's dad is just fucking racist.
They're not even towing the line there. They're just
no, and so there's a reason that if you are, the whole pitch of this whole series was supposed to be that we were going to tell you the story that was missed from the movies. This is the books. This is
faithful adaptation of the books.
Faithful adaptation. We have a very detailed breakdown of how Professor Snape looks from the books. Greasy hair, pale skin, big nose, and then you have this chiseled, handsome looking, this handsome looking black guy who's coming in. And I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing here?
They put him in whiteface and a bunch of prosthetics. Yeah. We hired a black guy and we just made him look like.
If we're normalizing that, I mean, I don't have a problem. I'm just saying,
I won't be offended.
I won't be offended. But
hilarious.
Nick Frost, I think, could do a really, really good job as Hagrid. I think he has some comic relief that we got from Hagrid in the original movies that I think would be really nice. He's very charismatic, and I really enjoy him in a lot of the projects he's in. I wonder if there's a better fan cast that we could have had for it, but I'm not disappointed. I mean...
No, it's good. I can't really think of anyone off the top of my head that would be like, oh, you'd be a good Hagrid.
Yeah.
Just I'm just thinking about really tall, bearded fucking actors, and I can't think of any.
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Yeah. We make Peter Dinklage Hagrid. He already did it in Infinity War.
Yep.
So we got that to look forward to. No,
But yeah, I mean, the shows are... If you cast... what was his name? Papa
Sidhu. Yep.
Papa Sidhu?
And I might be mispronouncing it.
Probably.
He's British, so I tried.
He's British.
The black guy?
Yeah.
Oh.
But if you cast him as Snape, the show's already dead in the water, so it doesn't really matter who else is the casting.
Yeah, if you're following the book, follow the book.
Yeah.
Don't make it a race thing.
I will say that
I was hoping they'd make Hermione black. She's called Mudblood all the time. She tries to free the house elves.
That would
the slave revolution.
Well, then you have the so this has been actually a running joke for a long time. When race swapping started to become really mainstream in Hollywood, and they were doing it all the fucking time, where they race swapped Little Orphan Annie, and they were doing all the other. They were race swapping all these ginger characters that were historically ginger characters, Oh,
Yeah, I'm being
DC
ousted.
DC does this all the time. DC does this all the time. If you have like a black, if you have a ginger character in DC, they were making them black. So like famous examples would be like Starfire, who's a very a very infamous character in the
Turned her
DC
into a
universe.
Black Hooker, who was weird.
It was really weird. But also you had Wally West had to be race swapped as well, and Iris had to be race swapped. So basically the Flash stuff.
April O'Neil from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles also race swapped.
Velma.
Yeah.
Velma had to be
Velma was
had to be
race
race swapped.
What was Velma race swapped in?
Oh yeah,
Velma.
there's
It was Velma.
there's an HBO. Well, yes,
Oh.
there's an HBO series called Velma. That was a spin-off, or that was a spin-off reboot, parody, something of the actual of Velma's character.
Bastardization of Scooby-Doo.
Exactly. And it was do you remember Mindy something?
Mindy Kaling.
Mindy Kaling. She's from the she was in The Office. She was the little kind of like
Indian chick.
Indian chick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's responsible for Velma. Like she's like a producer and she voices the role, I think.
I think she created the show.
She might have. I know she's big. I know she has a big role in it. I just don't know what titles she had affiliated with it. But we did a review on this very early in the channel when that show came out, and it was so bad. We watched the first episode. There was one part we laughed at, and the rest we were like rolling our eyes, cringing at, and it's just so awkward and bad. And so race swapping was very commonplace, and so there's actually like a short online, and it might even be just a video where they were making a parody of all of this, where it's the Disney newsroom, or it's the Disney like executive suite, and you have Mickey Mouse in the executive suite, and they're talking about race swapping all of these characters, and they're looking at who they can race swap. And apparently it's a game where you score points for every character you put on in a movie or show that you've successfully race swapped. And Warner Brothers has all of these ginger characters that if you race swap gingers, apparently you get extra points. And then Mickey Mouse gets news on the phone that Warner Brothers is going to be race swapping all of the Weasleys from Harry Potter, and they're gonna get so many points, and Mickey Mouse is freaking out over it. And I love that show. I love that skit. I think that's so damn.
Race swap the poorest wizarding family.
Exactly. They have to. I'm honestly, if they don't, I will be surprised.
At this point, I'm just like, yeah, fuck it, go for it. Let's have some fun.
Yeah,
I don't need a good show. I'll just troll you instead.
I mean, shit. I mean, if we've had shows that are just 100% a troll and they're not successful, Velma being the only example I need to say. But I mean, so I don't think it'll be a good way to make money. But they do what they do, you know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if they just adapted the books or whatnot, it would be like the next Game of Thrones, because it would go on for like 10 years. People would be watching every season, and
yeah.
It would have
So
been very profitable.
this is our race swap for Professor Snape that we have to look forward to. Papacito.
Can't you see the resemblance?
They look the same. His nose is fucking huge. I mean, is that racist? I don't think that's racist. I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure that's not racist to say. His nose, I mean, I see it now. I mean, damn it, man. I mean, what are we doing, man? So
That's after they throw a bunch of shit at him.
boo.
Bullied by Harry's dad.
That's they bring in the kid from Everybody Hates Chris to play young Snape. Or the white kid from Young Sheldon to do like blackface for him. That could be fine. I don't know what we're gonna do with that. But Harry Potter with Nick Frost, I think that we have something to look forward to in that. I'm really hoping that this whole Papacito thing is a bait and switch, that they're gonna bring in something far more minor.
It's been news on and off though, because there was news like last year, and then it came up again this year. So it's like even closer to finalization, but apparently he still hasn't signed. So
Right. And I'm just like, what are you waiting for? Do it so we can now know.
yeah,
And
I
now,
want confirmation. Damn it!
this way we can make up our minds early on. We can all just say DOA or I'm in. And I mean, like, there's plenty of characters that are insignificant enough that you could, like, where even their race is not important narratively, where you could you could force the issue and race swap them in. Like, Professor McGonagall could be black if we wanted her to. Halle Berry would be great. She's getting old, right? I mean, it's not any less beautiful, but I'm just saying she's
I mean, yes,
someone.
there already are POCs in the fucking books.
Exactly.
So it's like, you don't need to add a bunch more. This is supposed to take place in 90s UK.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of black people roaming around in 90s UK.
J.K. Rowling is really
Nowadays, there's less white people than there is any other.
by magnitudes, by a lot. But J.K. Rowling is really owning her racism. You know, she's like, I was absolutely a true bigot. Like, we easily could have had Snape be black. And you know what? It would have been better narratively.
Maybe she's trying to like make up for the like, oh, the left disowned me because I agree with them on everything but the trans playing sports issue.
We'll have to see. All right, guys. We have other stories we were going to cover today, but we are running long, so I think we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out on this episode of Third Party Podcast. Tyson, thanks for joining us on the stream. Really appreciated having you. Guys, we're going to wrap it up there. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It's free. It's the best way to help show your support. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers this year. It's our goal. I think we can really make it. It would mean a lot to have your support. Smash that like button. Share the video out there. Come hang out next Saturday when we come back to Third Party Podcast, and make sure to join us in the chat. We will be hanging out, answering your questions. Sunday Slackers tomorrow. We're playing Repo again. Do not miss that. And with all of that said, go tell your stories. Peace out.
Bye.
Tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits. Don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life.